Welcome back to Game Devs Play Games, where you can watch games and practice game design. We're about to fight Gargoyle from the show Gargoyles.
Do you recognize him?
He looks like the guy from Gargoyles. What's his name?
Nope. This is from Fantasia.
Okay, Google.
No, but remember the guy from Fantasia?
What are the names of the gargoyles from the show Gargoyles?
This is Fantasia. Chris, this is not... God, I hate you.
Oh, this is Goliath. We're fighting Goliath, guys.
Piece of shit.
Who owns Gargoyles? Is that a show that's ever going to come back?
I think Disney has it, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure they played on like Disney XD or something.
Really?
Garbage.
All I'm saying is, Kingdom Hearts 3, I better be able to get Goliath in my party. If we're bringing in Toy Story and San Francisco.
Dude, San Francisco. They're bringing in the world from Tangled. They're gonna have a Frozen level.
That's not that surprising. Honestly, Frozen was a great movie. I
just hate Frozen.
Yeah, the only reason I kind of have like a negative opinion of Frozen
because it's
is
a big garbage dumpster fire. I get it. No,
it's because of the like young child
It starts getting harder soon. I don't remember when he does. But in a minute here, he's not going to be as easy as he is right now.
It's that Frozen has been blown out of proportion. That's really what it is. And a lot of that's because the young audience really, really loves it.
Yeah.
And so it's Disney capitalizing on that, being like,
what really gets me, so with Coco, they've never done this before, where like the animated short before a Pixar movie was a sequel of sorts to another movie.
Oh, interesting.
I've always been about Pixar shorts because they've always been about originality.
Yeah.
And for Coco, it was a Frozen short.
Really?
Yeah. And then once the Frozen short, because the Frozen short was for limited engagement, obviously to bring more audience in, was their goal. I don't know why, if it's like something to say like, oh, because it's a Spanish, based thing, that the world audience wouldn't come in here. I'm not sure. But that always bothered me because like the shorts always were about like creativity and something different.
Yeah.
And it's just really disheartening that like it wasn't that,
I mean, it might not have been planned to be more than that at the time, or maybe that was just them experimenting. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that though.
It bummed me out. That's really where this comes to. It really just made me like be like, but where's the creativity that I know Pixar has, And like it can't be because like do not tell me it's because you have Spanish people in this. Like if that is your reasoning, if you're worried that it's because it's a Spanish movie, or it's based around Spanish like ties, if that is your reasoning, then I'm out. It's like that's because Coco probably doesn't need to have anything for it because it's a Pixar movie.
Right.
People are going to like fly for a Pixar film.
Oh yeah.
Like you could make a Pixar movie.
You can make a Pixar movie about anything, and people will. I mean, I'm one of those people,
and I'm one of those people too. And that's just where they lost me. Where it's like they're giving up on what makes it felt like a cop out for what makes them so great. I think that's really where I stand on that whole thing. Is that like it doesn't feel like Pixar to have a Frozen short, Like no matter what my love-hate relationship is with Frozen, or my hate relationship is with Frozen.
I mean, yeah, that's interesting. I suppose that's better than having a terrible sequel, though. It's like the Lion King 2,
no, right.
or 3 for that matter.
Yeah, I get your Lion King 1/2 or whatever.
Yeah.
The one that takes place from Timon and Pumbaa's.
That one might not have actually been that bad. I never saw that one, but there was actually a Lion King 2.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, yeah. We actually watched it. It's actually like
it's
compared to other
bad.
Disney sequels, like direct to like video sequels, it's not the worst.
I guess it's not as bad as like Mulan 2.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's really the one I should have called out.
Or Beauty and the Beast, when they do the one with like the Winter Wonderland kind of one. It was so weird.
No, that was the thing.
Oh, it's so weird.
So it's like, well, maybe a short is better than using a sequel, and they wanted to do something a little bit more with it. I mean, I'm on your side that they're probably just capitalizing on it more and trying to encourage more people to go see Coco. But for what it's worth, Coco was exceptionally well received.
Yeah, no, it was. No, it absolutely was. Which is that's just why I didn't understand, though. I guess that's really...
I think that's part of their new marketing plan.
Yeah.
I bet that's going to be a more consistent thing, unless they got a lot of backlash from doing that in Coco.
Well, a lot of people complain, and so then they called the limited engagement. Like, no, it was limited engagement the whole time. So I think that there may be a change on that for them. I don't think this is going to be a commonplace for them. I'm at least I'm hoping.
I mean, that makes sense.
Right? My heart of hearts is saying, yeah, they're going to not do that again.
There was another short very recently. I don't remember where you can see it, but I think it's called Lou, like Lou.
Oh yeah. I remember hearing about that.
So I wonder if that's them going back to like just kind of doing their fun little shorts.
I'm hoping so. So that boss fight was pretty standard.
Yeah, man, I feel bad that we had to kill Goliath because he's one of my favorite characters.
It's not Goliath.
It is owned by Disney though. That checked out. Wow, fourth time. Huh?
Yeah. There's a fourth behemoth. In case you guys weren't sick of the behemoth yet.
If ever it were clear that they ran out of money toward the end.
Yeah, right. Like,
there you go.
Like, I mean, I think it's fun to fight behemoths. Like, you know, I enjoy the fight. It's kind of time consuming.
We had a similar conversation in Okami because you fight one of the core bosses 3 times in that game.
Really? I'm surprised.
It's like a half an hour fight.
Each time?
Yeah. Every single time.
It's a tough fighter, like...
And we had that conversation of like, you know, it's fun the first time. Second time, if they don't switch it up, you know, it can still be interesting. By the time you do it the third time, it's just like,
you're just like,
really?
what is this?
It's just like a time waster.
Now you're not even trying.
And like now in this case, a fourth time?
Although you could have avoided one of the times.
I think that doesn't negate it, because if you played you played it, then that means you get a worse experience.
Yeah,
not a
fair.
better one.
That's fair.
How shitty is that?
Yeah, no,
like,
I get what you're getting.
This is what you get for playing more of the game. You have to do more monotonous work.
Yeah, that's fair.
It just doesn't resonate with me, man.
I mean, because it's a simple fight. If it was a difficult fight, maybe it'd be more like, oh, not again.
Yeah, if it took like 20 minutes to kill him, I'd be like,
oh yeah, I'd be like,
this hate everything.
Then we just probably jump ahead after the fight was over. And be like,
no, there's a reason why we don't skip on stuff like this. We only pause the show.
Oh, if it's something we've done already, or like it's an extra little thing.
Yeah, like when we fuck up and then we have to redo something because we didn't succeed.
Or we go back to world to get a Keyblade because it's like you guys don't really need to see how we got the Keyblade because that's not.
I mean, sometimes we do still like to show that, but that's why when we don't pause during stuff like this. Mostly because this is part of the core experience. This is a game design show.
Yeah, that's fair.
If this were any other Let's Play, I would say, sure, let's cut out any of the boring stuff. But the reason why we don't cut this out is because this is part of the experience. This is part of the conversation.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about successful and unsuccessful game design, well, this should not be excluded.
Yeah, that's fair.
And we don't want you guys to just have to like believe that just from like hearing us talk about it retrospectively.
Yeah,
I think it's important to
that's a good point.
Conclude it in our content on the show.
And the way it kind of illustrates the fact that maybe 4 times is 3 times too many. You know, it's like,
yeah,
or at least twice too many.
And honestly, it's for that reason we don't play a lot of more old school RPGs on the show, because they tend to be, you know, 80 hours of content, and a lot of that's going to be spent grinding. And, you know, it's not that interesting to watch in a game design setting or a game Let's Play setting. Oh boy.
But they're not. What if? How funny would it have been if they were all behemoth fights?
I'd be like, about
this, like you have to fight.
We're done with this game.
Like just 5 behemoth fights.
You know what? I would probably laugh. I'd be like, you know what? Joke's on us, Square Enix.
Yeah,
you got us good.
You got us, man. We thought this was gonna be something totally different.
We thought this was gonna be a magical experience. Nah, you fooled us, man.
You trolled us, man.
Pulled the rug out from underneath us. Yep. Damn, Square Enix.
That'd be pretty. I would get a good laugh out of it. But that's because I'm a sadistic fuck, so you know.
I mean, I'm that kind of asshole designer where this is why I love Doki Doki. because I love the idea of setting up something and kind of leading the player along
that's
just to like trick them.
it's just so mean. I love it because I don't like the genre it's making fun of. I think that's the other big thing. I'm just not big on those kind of styled visual novels. I have no problem with visual novels, just not that kind.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on that side too, where, you know,
And like for people who like it, there's nothing. I'm not saying that like I don't like you for liking those games. They're just not my cup of tea.
yeah, and that's like literally any game. That's like being like, I don't like Hello Kitty games just because I don't really care for the cutesy nature, and
I don't like Hello Kitty.
And the other things like, oh well, you're a terrible person for not liking those. Like that's not a
how
thing.
could you not love Hello Kitty? That is the cornerstone of our culture.
Although we might play a Hello Kitty game on the show if we can get our hands on it.
Absolutely not. Oh, I guess we got hands on it.
There's I thought you died for a second. I was like, no. There's a apparently extremely rare Hello Kitty game on the Wii U.
Really?
It's basically Diddy Kong Racing except with Hello Kitty characters. It's so funny. But it was announced that it's getting re-released on the Switch. So
no joke.
we might get our hands on that.
Oh my god, it's gonna be horrendous.
Also because I love Diddy Kong Racing and we've never played on the show.
Dude, Diddy Kong Racing was a blast.
Dude, Diddy Kong Racing was my mamma jamma.
Also, just with Crash Team Racing, I loved Crash Team Racing. People were like, it's just a Mario Kart Diddy Kong Racing clone, and I'm like, I still liked it. So.
You have some contestant, or some contest. Maybe that's just the way you say it. Other people want to come on the show and play Crash Team Racing.
Dude,
so
Crash Team Racing is where it's at.
We could always. Is that a 4-player racing game?
Yes.
Couch 4-player?
Because on the PS4 you need, or on the PS4, on the PlayStation you needed that little like the expander thing.
Yeah. So maybe we could get a fun like 3 or 4-player
dude, I'd be
CTR
all about that
action going on.
I would be all about a little CTR in my life.
They never re-released CTR, did they?
No, they didn't.
Did they? Is it on the virtual console?
I don't think it's on their PlayStation Store.
Really?
Which is a travesty to most things in this world.
Boy, we'd have to find it the hard way then.
Yeah, and we'd also have to get like an adapter for the 4 controller.
I think I have one actually.
Oh, of course you will. I love that.
I have to steal from my parents' house though.
That's okay.
Let's see, Crash Team Racing PS4, huh? Come on, you know you want to give it to me. Give it to me. Yeah, there's the Insane Trilogy. Yeah. Oh, wait. CTR on PS3. Maybe as a download.
Oh, could you on PS3?
Yeah, it's a download. So we could actually play it on PS3.
Oh, legit.
And PSP, apparently. Which I have a PSP. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There were some really terrible Crash Team Racing sequels.
Was it really?
Yeah, there was one on the was it the N-Gage? I think it was the N-Gage, the Nokia N-Gage.
Shoot, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I really want to get my hands on an N-Gage at some point.
Oh my god,
which is super.
This is just spam fight city.
We could. There are some not so bad emulators for the N-Gage, and since you can't get those games anywhere else, I wouldn't feel bad playing it on an emulator. But it'd be fun to play some like really off the wall games on the show that have kind of been lost to history.
That's fair. Sorry, I'm just like.
No, you're focused, man. Don't die.
This is a spam fight, and I just. Sometimes they're fun. Sometimes they're the most atrocious things.
Yeah, man. Keep your head cool.
I'm gonna have to fight Ansem soon. I got to.
We can't have you die here. You still have a minute left on the show too for this episode.
We should probably do it after you finish this up because I don't want to stop partway through.
Well, this is the last fight, right, for this door?
Yeah, should be.
Looks like it. Although realistically, at this point, Sora, you could just fucking climb through that, man.
I know, right? It's like, dude, you do not have to stay. No, but I gotta open all the way. Sora, you really do.
Heal.
I know. I'm going.
You're scaring me, man. You're scaring me.
Jaffiel. Down,
I think that's from something. I know some other Let's Players that say that, but I don't think that's where you got that from.
No.
Oh, I guess there's some kind of weird barrier despite the door cracking.
Yep.
I guess they justified it. Oh, there's more.
Yeah.
You'd think it'd be like one wave per door chunk.
And I'm also like, I don't have any of my teammates here because they're all dead as per usual. I wish I could get a count of how many times they've died and I've survived.
That would be, yeah, like how many enemies you've killed.
By myself. No, just by, no, they do tell you how many Heartless you killed.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm, they should.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But you mean like compared to Donald and Goofy?
Yeah, right. Be like, how many times did they die?
You know what? That should be the ultimate indicator of successful AI.
Yeah, right. Like,
how many times they died, how many times they actually helped you.
how many times Donald actually used cure when appropriate. 'Cause I'll tell you that number is not a lot.
Although maybe they do get like a bulk readout at the end of a playthrough, and they're like, oh, see, clearly this AI is working. We're getting a lot of good numbers from how much damage they deal. And it's like, you
pieces of shit.
don't know anything.
These numbers look great.
No. Stop it. You know what I want to see?
What do I see?
I want someone to mod either Kingdom Hearts or God of War. And I want to see.
Dude, this is
all
a
of the-
mean fight. I would like to point this out, how mean of a fight this is.
All I'm saying is I want to see God of War style gameplay. Swap out all of the enemies in God of War and swap out Kratos for Sora. And just
Yes!
and have you play Sora like dismembering these guys.
I would be all about that. Oh my gosh, I would crap my pants.
It'd be pretty good. If I had way too much free time, this is the kind of BS I would make.
This is just a mean set of fights. It's like, hey, you know that fight that you really want to end? Yeah, it's never going to end.
Seriously, we've been in this room for like 10 minutes.
I know, it's...
Which I guess 10 minutes is not really that long, but like...
No, but when it comes to like Let's Playing and like... say that's a whole episode of just me sitting here.
Well, it's you know what it really is also is that if you fail, like right at the end, that means you have to go through that whole like 10,
The
15
whole
minutes
ordeal
again.
all over again, yeah.
And you know, in other contexts, losing those
And they're
10 or
dead
15
again.
minutes isn't
And
that
they're
bad.
dead again. They died on me again, and now, oh my gosh, this is the part where it starts getting really challenging. They're all just spamming me with attacks every 5 goddamn seconds, and so I don't have enough time to think because they're all dead. Everyone's dead. All my teammates, they're dead. Oh, there's Down to the
Well,
Life for about
there's-
another 5 seconds.
It's the
before
name
he
of our episode.
dies.
They're all dead.
They're all dead. Like,
Yeah, that's a good call. I was gonna say.
yeah. I was watching. I'm trying to get better about watching. It's just so mean. This is such a mean fight. They like just don't stop coming, and it's like, please stop.
Please stop coming on
Please
me.
stop coming. I'm too tired. I can't keep going.
You're disgusting.
Yeah, well, you were also thinking the same exact thing. So.
Look, man, we've been playing this game for 60 episodes now.
Are we at 60?
Yeah, dude.
Jeez.
That's
Remember when you're like, oh, it's
see.
going to take like 40 episodes to beat? It's like, no,
so this
it's
is
not.
recording session number 11 for us. So that's 11 weeks. That's almost 4 months of playing Kingdom Hearts.
And it's still not done. It's still not done. This fight is not over. Should I pause this fight? I mean, but I can't
No.
really...
No, we'll finish this. We'll just go along this episode. I think everyone else at least wants to see this get finished.
I'm so not sure if I want to just get finished.
Like, I think I just got to put this controller down and never come back. This is the notorious Square Enix stage where everything
like,
gets so like
well, they're just spamming me so hard that it's not about skill anymore.
yeah.
It's just about like how long can you last before you don't want to keep doing this. Shit.
I mean, it's a little bit about skill, but like
Well, yeah, it is about. I don't want to say it's not about skill, but it's like we're gonna spam you, you know, like. However, I had like a cleverly difficult boss, you know.
well, and that's sort of the inherent flaw with a lot of games like this is, you know, how do you make interesting enemies that lead to engaging combat or diverse combat? Because it's like just about every single enemy in this game is just How do you make it more difficult? You just add more of them, or we give them more health.
Right.
And outside of the boss design, you know, there's not a lot of ways to make it more interesting. And that's sort of a limitation on the design schema that they set up with the game.
That's fair.
And you could, there are definitely some answers to that. Whether or not they're resource efficient when it comes to the game development cycle.
Hey, look who died again.
Is questionable.
Go figure. Everyone's dead again.
So I think the easiest place to chalk it up to is the core systems design. If the systems design sort of encourages you to make enemies that behave this way, maybe there's a problem with your system.
Yeah, that's fair.
And not to say that they are stuck to only using, you know, monotonous, spammy monsters. It's just that's the only thing that they could squeeze into the budget based on the system design.
My gosh, we're right at the end here. I'm hoping. God,
there could be another wave.
I swear.
What if this whole time all the answer was to actually jump through that portal?
It's done.
The deed is done.
Jesus.
All right, next episode, Tony beats Kingdom Hearts.
Nope, it's not gonna happen.
Tony's gonna beat Kingdom Hearts, guys.
So, question of the day.
Question of the day. Design at least a monster or a couple of monsters that might better utilize the combat system in this game. Something to make it more interesting, right? Because like Tony was saying, it just kind of gets monotonous. It's the same thing over and over again, and it's just spamming. And, you know, I think the current audience of game players understands, like, spamming is not really interesting, and we're moving away from that in general game design. But, you know, I think it's still something that a lot of designers struggle with.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button, and we'll see you next time on Kingdom Hearts.
Bye.
Goodbye.